Mistakes to avoid when you're in your 20s, or you could even say as early as 18. For me, some of the big ones were wasting time, just being completely unproductive. And I'd waste time by doing stuff to just keep me entertained, like playing video games, um, hanging out with losers, partying with losers, um, wasting time talking to a bunch of chicks, just to get laid. Uh, Nowadays, a big one is social media. So the big common theme between all these things is it doesn't really go anywhere. There's no net positive of anything. You're not doing anything of value. You're not really helping anyone. So, not to say that to certain degrees these things aren't terrible. For example, if you just like to play a video game from time to time and you can control yourself, you won't get addicted. By all means, do it. If you enjoy it and it helps you de stress once in a while, by all means, do it. However, in moderation. For me personally, certain video games I would be addicted to. They're made to be that way. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful and you have to be focused on the correct things. Same with like certain friends. If you've been friends your whole life with a certain peer group and you guys, you're truly best buds, however, they're not really going anywhere, I'm not saying you have to drop them right away, just because you guys' paths aren't aligned. What I'm saying is you got to limit the time that you spend with them so you have more time to focus on your things. Yeah, if you want to see your buds once every week or two that you guys have been friends with forever and maybe all they want to do is drink and just bullshit, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, you can't be wasting all of your time doing that. So, and then obviously the social media trap. I can make a whole other video on that. So, you got to use it proactively and in a positive way, in the correct way, and not in a way that you're just wasting time giving a shit about other people on there when most people just give a shit about themselves. So, and not to say that's negative, but just to understand that. The next thing, the next big mistake that I made was not trying new things. In your 20s and when you're young, the big opportunity that you have is you have a little bit of time to try things, to see what you like, to fail, to learn from your failures, and to educate yourself to see how the world works, to really find yourself as an individual. And one of the best ways to do that is to try things, to fail, to learn from that, to analyze what went right, what went wrong, and such. And this way you construct your own view, and then eventually you'll have your own values. Me, I did not try a whole lot of new things until later in my 20s, like an idiot. I don't want anyone else doing that. Why? Because you'll know, as far as work or certain things you like or don't like, you'll learn much more by trying and failing. And then none of us want to do it because it takes time and effort and there's no reward for it. I'm telling you, the reward is the experience. Like, right now, I would give up everything else I have to keep my experience. So, that's that. And then lastly, a big mistake that you can make when you're young or in your 20s is getting tied down. And I'm not talking specifically just to like a relationship or anything. Being tied down as far as like if you lease a car or something and you're tied down to the bank, or even worse, if you do it wrong, if you lease a house. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a proper way to do these things, but when you're young, you're inexperienced, you don't know what you're doing, you want to avoid big things like that. You don't want to knock up your girlfriend. You probably shouldn't even have a girlfriend when you're in your 20s, unless like she's a fucking rock star and you guys are heading the same direction. So, and as far as like a house and stuff, unless you're very financially aware, you're very knowledgeable, you know what you're doing, and you know how you're going to pay everything off quickly, and you're not just like, oh, I'm just going to take whatever mortgage and then I'll just pay it off. Ho, ho, ho. It's better than renting. No, don't do that stuff. Don't lock yourself down to a place. Keep yourself open, keep your options fresh. You're in your 20s. This is the time to learn to take opportunities because it's not going to be the same moving forward afterwards. So, let me recap all this. First, don't waste time doing stupid things or hanging out with the wrong people. Be selective with who you hang out. Be selective with your time, and don't be doing stuff like traps like video games unless you can understand them for what they are and enjoy them. Second, you got to try new things. I know it almost seems like a waste of time sometimes, but you'll be surprised what you learn about yourself and in general by just trying new things. And then lastly, don't put yourself in a position where you're tied down to certain commitments that you don't need. You're in a position right now. You can have commitments by like trying new things, but you can't have commitments where you sign like your yearly long contracts and such. That's stupid. You have to be fluid and being able to take every opportunity you have at the moment. That is your best bet, and this way you will learn the most. All right. Comment what you think down below, like and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.